How's it going, guys? My name is Graeme and welcome to AI Dungeon 2. Basically, we get to go on like a role-playing adventure, and this machine learning computer AI system gets to be our dungeon master. Shout out to Retromation, who first tweeted this out. It was the first place I heard about this, and it just seemed absolutely hilarious. Very dumb, but amazing, and very worth checking out. As with any good machine learning program, it takes the inputs that we're giving it and saves that and remolds it and reworks it to flesh out the AI further, to add to new adventures for other people. So literally, the more people are playing this, the more robust the adventures it's able to come up with become. Oh, I didn't realize there were separate settings. So we can have fantasy, mystery, apocalyptic, zombies, or custom. I have no idea what custom would be. We're just going to start with fantasy. Fantasy seems like it would be nice and simple. Pick a character. I will be a ranger. What is your name? That seemed like too much work. So I'm going to a separate AI that will pick our name for us. It's trying to stay on theme here. We're going 80% Tolkien and 20% Martin. And we will become... Oh, that's just unpronounceable. Joything Mismer, Ottovacker Bolger, Angrog, Kraith? Kraith is the one we're going with. We will be Kraith. Try to start your actions with the verb. Examples: go to the tavern, attack the orc, to speak, say blank, or just the thing you want to say. You are Kraith, a ranger living in the kingdom of Larian. You have a hunting bow and a quiver of arrows. You spot the deer and are ready to finish your hunt when suddenly you hear a voice calling out to you from behind a tree. Kraith, are you there? You turn around and see a young man with wild hair and a wild beard standing before you. Ready my bow, just in case. You draw your bow and fire an arrow. I didn't want to immediately fire. I wanted to just stay back. But alright, I guess we're going for it. You fire it at the young man who is now running away. He falls down and you continue shooting at him. Just fuck you with your wild hair. Continue shooting at him until he runs off into the forest. You then look back at the deer, which has been shot through the neck by one of your shots. It looks dead. And sure, it is dead. Not taking any chances. You quickly pick up the arrow and put it back in its place in the bowstring. And then put it back in its place in its neck again, just continually refiring the same arrow. Then you carefully remove the string and restring it so that it points at the ground. With this new string, you aim it at the deer's head and pull the trigger. Is that how that works on bows? Bathe in its blood. It didn't really give me a whole lot of opportunities of what to do next in that scenario. You shoot the arrow straight into the deer's head. The arrow flies straight into the deer's brain, and the creature collapses to the ground. He was already dead on the ground, and now I'm just shooting him in the brain again. You quickly checked. I'm picturing an already dead, slumped deer collapsing onto the ground. You quickly check to see if the other two creatures were killed, but they seemed to be fine. There were two other creatures? Eat the brain. We're not doing an actual zombie scenario, but maybe I can tip things in that direction. We can have a fantasy zombie scenario. You take the brains from the two creatures and eat them. They taste horrible, and you vomit several times while eating them. Oh, this is so gross. I'm just gonna keep eating, though. You feel sick for days after you finish eating them. Take some Pepto-Bismol. Presumably there's some fantasy equivalent of that. You take some Pepto-Bismol and swallow it. You feel better immediately, and you can't wait to get home. Go anywhere but home. You decide not to go home and instead head further north where there seems to be more peace and quiet. I just can't get enough of this peace and quiet. I just want as much of it as possible. It looks like there's more peace and quiet over there than there was over here. Eventually you come across a small village called The Village. Compliment villager. Do you know what? I guess they would actually be a villager. Maybe they would be like a villageite, though, or something like that. Compliment villager on creative naming. I wonder if I have to frame that as more of an actual sentence. You walk up to the door of the village and say, I am Quarth, a ranger living in the kingdom of Larian. The villagers all stare at you with surprise. One of them says, why are you covered in so much blood? I guess it would have, one of them asks. I should have not gave a question, probably. It was my friend who was killed by a bear last night, you reply. Such a clever liar I am. Surely that will draw no further questioning. The villagers are silent as they try to make sense of what you just said. Finally, one of them replies, why are you here? Maybe we can give this story some direction by having the villagers pose the next part of the story for us. I need help getting home, I reply. I had that option and I didn't take it. The villagers are surprised by your answer. Some of them ask how you know his name, and you explain that you heard it spoken once before when you were little. A few of them agree with you and tell you where the road goes. Did I say the name of this random villager? I guess I'll just follow the road then. I'm scared that if I go home it'll just end the story, and I think it would be much more funny to draw this out for as long as possible. You follow the road north for about a day before you come across a large tree. This is the only thing that appears to be alive in this desolate landscape. There's no sign of life around here, and you wonder if you should leave or stay and explore. Chop down the tree. I like to just be as destructive as possible as I'm making my way through this world. Kill all the animals, chop all the trees. Really trying to make my mark. Leave an impression on the environment here. Oh, game saved. We had a disaster here. Well, we can just say that the tree I chopped down fell over on top of me and crushed me and I'm dead. I'm curious if I enter custom, what kind of options does it put forward? Enter a prompt that describes who you are in the first couple of sentences of where you start out. My custom starting prompt, you are a superhero in the city of Loser Town. I forgot to give my name. That's fine. You are searching for the deadly Shin Gang, which is my joke about, like, there's the Hand and the Foot Clan and things like that. These guys are the Shin, some other part of anatomy, who are the henchmen of the Lord Master Man. You enter the sewers searching for the Shin Gang and find. Okay, it continues on then. Searching for the Shin Gang and find them. But they've already escaped. I was so close. Yet so far, they have taken over the local drug den. There's just, Loser Town's not doing so great these days. They have a drug den that is being fought over in gang wars and are selling it at a huge profit to the citizens of Loser Town. Teach them about the dangers of drugs. You tell your followers, I have followers, that you will be taking over the drug den and that you want all the profits from the sale of this drug to go towards helping the poor people of Loser Town. It's a perfect system. I sell them the drugs, I take the money, I put the money back into the drug den to make sure the drug den can give them better drugs, drive up the prices. Everyone wins? The Shin Gang is not pleased with this plan and attack you. The fight is fierce and brutal. I kill all of them with my... I never developed what kind of superhero I am. With my enchanted battle axe that houses the spirit of William Wallace. I don't know if he fought with an axe. I don't know if that totally checks out, but it's close enough. You unleash your enchanted battle axe and begin slaughtering the Shin Gang members. After killing every last one of them, you realize you are still no match for their magical powers and you fall unconscious. That's some really powerful magic. You kill every single one of them, yet they still get the better of you. When you wake up, you find yourself in the middle of an underground river. I guess that could mean the middle of the expanse of it, not the depth of it, because I was like, am I just actively drowning? Use my flipper feet to swim to safety. That's a thing I have. It's my feet are just shaped like giant flippers, so I'm just permanently a really good swimmer. Not a very good runner, though. You quickly get out of the river and make it back to the Shin Gang hideout, where they are happy to see you are alive. They thank you profusely for saving them, and you take a moment to speak with them. Some thread in this story got lost. Say, you guys really suck at being dead. They don't seem too surprised by this remark. Yeah, I guess it was a clever ruse all along the time I chopped them to bits with my axe. But they do not ask what you mean. You explain that you were able to survive because you had some sort of special ability, flipper feet, that allowed you to survive the watery death. This seems to surprise them as well. It's as if they can't see my disgusting feet. I think it's funny that it starts with they don't seem surprised, but then they're surprised as well. Like, obviously the program's not going to be perfect. Show them my disgusting freakish flipper feet. You grab your feet and reveal your horrible freakish feet. The Shin Gang members are horrified by these feet and beg you to stop showing them so much disgust. I can't bear to see any more disgust. Please keep it away. You agree, and then proceed to show them more of your disgusting freakish feet. This is my greatest superpower yet. Oh my god. This is better than killing them. It's such torture. Ask them where are the drugs going. Although it probably doesn't matter because I took over the drug den. It's fine. You explain that the drugs are going to help the poor people of Losertown. Oh, okay, that actually picked the thread back up of the story. I didn't shatter the computer's mind. And that you want all the profit from the sale of this drug going towards helping the poor people of Losertown. So I've inserted myself in a position where I'm going to claim more money. The Shin Gang is happy to hear this and agrees to help you. Pick a sidekick from the Shin Gang. Every good superhero needs a sidekick eventually for a short mini arc until they eventually die and you realize you should have been a lone wolf all along. It doesn't matter that I don't have a name or anything like that. You decide to choose a sidekick from the Shin Gang. One of them volunteers and you nickname him Hobbit. Hobbits are small humanoids who have long fingers and toes. They can move around on 2 legs or walk on all 4s. What a creative name I've come up with for him. I ask Hobbit to find some crime for us to fight. You tell Hobbit to find some crime. He tells you he has found a few places that need fighting, but nothing major. Then I will just sit back and get high on my own supply. You start getting high on your own supply of drugs and decide to leave the Shin Gang hideout. I just wander on out of there. When you arrive home, you feel like you should be feeling good, but you aren't. You have a headache and feel sick. Take more drugs to balance out the first drugs. Obviously that will just work. There's no reason it won't. You decide to take more drugs to balance out the first drugs. You feel better immediately. And you decide to keep taking drugs until you feel normal again. It's a perfect solution. 100% of the time, right? Go in search of snacks. You decide to go into the woods to look for snacks. Yeah, I guess if you're tripping that much balls, the woods seems like a good place to search. You spend most of the day looking for food and drink. Eventually you come across a large tree trunk filled with nuts and fruit. You eat a lot of this stuff and feel great. This has been a very good day for me. I took over the drug den, got myself a sidekick, did all the drugs, found a bounty of fruits and nuts. This is wonderful. Look for somewhere to go poop, but I accidentally said poopo. That's a different thing. That's a thing that only superheroes do. You decide to look for somewhere to go pooping. You manage to find a hole in the ground and try to go down there. Don't go down. Just send the poop down. You don't need to go down. But you just end up pissing all over yourself. You feel disgusted and ashamed of yourself. This day is taking a turn. Take a bath. I was going to give it more specific information, but I'm out in the woods somewhere. I'm sure I can find some river to dive in or something. I'll just leave it nice and vague. You take a bath, you take a hot shower and enjoy it. You feel clean and refreshed. We really switched gears there. Went from a bath to a shower all of a sudden. Don't know how we managed to find a hot shower, but that's fine. Ask my friend if he wants to hang out today. I purposely left it vague. I don't know if it'll just call up Hobbit. I don't know if he's my only friend. You decide to invite your friend Waldo to hang out today. He says yes, but only if you let him take care of his dog, Bobby. You agree and set off to find Bobby. Is Bobby missing? Enlist Hobbit's help to find Bobby. You call Hobbit over and ask him to find Bobby. Hobbit happily accepts your request and heads off to find Bobby. You head home and enjoy your newfound freedom. You can get bent, Waldo. I'm not helping you with this. It's said the Hobbit can walk on all fours, right? I don't know how complicated you can get with these prompts. I feel like I've been pretty, explanative with this stuff, and it still is working largely. I dress up Hobbit to look like Bobby in an attempt to fool Waldo. You decide to dress him up in an attempt to fool Waldo. You put on some fake hair and beard and pretend to be Bobby. Unfortunately, Waldo doesn't notice anything amiss and continues to ignore you. I was trying to dress up Hobbit, not myself. That was a terrible disguise. I kind of forgot about how I set this whole thing up, so I'm going to use my new disguise to infiltrate Lord Master Man's hideout. I kind of forgot about that altogether. Once I took over the Shin Gang and all the drugs, it no longer seemed like a big issue. I may have become the villain. You decide to use your disguise to sneak into Lord Master Man's hideout. You enter the building, and soon after you're confronted by several guards. You manage to escape, but are severely injured. I will ask Hobbit to fix me up. That's why we have sidekicks. It's to take care of the bullshit that I don't want to deal with. I'm gonna bleed out and die? Not my issue. No! You call Hobbit over and ask him to fix your wounds. He does so and you continue to recover. You decide to go back to the hideout and heal up. No. Confront Lord Master Man. I'm driving towards a finale here. The connection actually dropped, and I seem to be unable to reconnect to things. I'm kind of waiting for it to play out, but I think it might not be happening. Things were kind of just meandering at that point anyways. I don't know if it was ever going to have a satisfying conclusion. I think this is a super funny project. I think there's an insane amount of potential to just mess around with this. I don't know if it's the sort of thing people would want to see as a series. I would be more careful about saving instances of things happening. Like, I didn't save that whole time, and so as soon as something like this happens, the story is just lost. And that's my fault. Now I understand that a bit better. Yeah, people will have to let me know if they have any curiosity in more of this kind of nonsense. It's very fun to mess around with, even though none of it is, barely any of it makes sense. That's kind of the beauty. Thank you guys all so much for watching. I'll see you again soon.